Hey Bruins, welcome back to the BruinCast. I'm your host, Kyle Reagan.
And I'm Braden Himley.
And today we have our second guest, the incredible Miss Robinson. Welcome on.
Well, thank you very much.
So we don't want to assume that all students know who you are, though they're missing out if they don't. But why don't you give us a brief introduction of who you are?
So I'm Mrs. Robinson, and I'm a science teacher. I've been here for about 10 years. I've taught chemistry, and currently I teach Earth and Space. I teach environmental science and AP environmental science.
So you've been teaching for 10 years. How did you get into teaching?
So I was an environmental consultant first. I worked with risk analysis, chemical placement, where you look at products in household products. And I did that for many years as I was home with my kids and worked as a distance. And then I decided, I like working with the kids. I was at their school a lot, and I'm like, how can I share my joy of my interest for science, and especially environmental science? And I thought, I should be a teacher. That would be a fun way to hang out with young people and teach them something I love.
So have you taught at Pondo your entire career, or have you taught at other schools and areas also?
My first year, I was down at Oak Park, downtown Sacramento.
Okay.
And I taught for middle schoolers, which was quite different. Those were 7th and 8th graders, so it's a little different. But yeah, it was still science. Yeah.
You said you do Earth and Space. Aren't they're like canceling that next year? Are they canceling it next year?
So they're taking the content that is taught in Earth and Space, and they're now incorporating that into biology, chemistry, and physics.
Oh boy.
That's a good response to that. Because a lot of high school districts, in general, don't have Earth and Space anymore. They merged it into the other subjects.
How do you feel about that?
How I feel about that? Good question. I do think that Earth and Space is a good startup science for a lot of students, because a lot of things are reviewing things from middle school, and they might not be so strong academically. So I do think we're missing out on some things in that way. However, I think starting people with biology is going to encourage more students to go into higher levels or upper levels science classes, which I really think is exciting. So that means they'll take biology and then go into either chemistry, physics, or environmental science. So I think in the long run, it's going to be good, because more kids will take upper level science.
So really curious. I know at our middle school, each grade taught a different science. So what grade did you teach, and which science subject did you teach in middle school?
The first year I taught, what did we do? It was like Earth and Space, and then It was biology. So it was both those two.
Nice.
So we touched on both, even a little chemistry, actually.
So really, you've taught all the sciences.
I don't touch physics. I leave that to Miss Brown. That's for sure her thing, and the human physiology. But I'm more towards the chemistry side. Even with environmental science, I'm geared towards chemistry.
Cool. So before teaching, kind of like, what's your story growing up? I know you're from Sweden, so I'm not sure if you want to talk about that at all.
Sure. But So I grew up in Sweden in a small town, not that different from Shingle Springs. So it's pretty small, like 4,000 people who live there. So it's tiny. So I was there until I was in 9th grade, and then you had to move to another town half an hour away to go to high school. And I did that. And after high school, in Sweden, you pick your what you want to study already from when you're 16, which is 9th grade. We start 1 year after you guys. So you have to kind of pick, are you going towards economies, or like finance? Are you going towards science, STEM career, or language? So you kind of choose language, art. You choose pretty early. And I already then liked science, so I went towards that. And then I needed a gap year, and then because I was so done with high school, I was really tired of school when that came around and finished. So I went to Sacramento for a year as a nanny, which I lived in a family and watched their kids for a year.
Oh,
that's how I went over here.
So is that when you learned English, or did you learn
No,
English in
we
Sweden?
start taking English in 3rd grade in Sweden.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
Cool.
a second language. Everyone has to learn English. So that made it really easy, right? And we're really influenced by all the pop culture, all the movies, all the music. So Swedes are really good at English.
Do you have any favorite movies?
Ooh. I did watch the movie I like a lot. I liked Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? We saw that the other day, but otherwise I like Lord of the Rings a lot. I'm a
Nice.
really nerd when it comes to movies. Yeah.
Any Star Trek? I know this guy.
Oh,
No, it's not Star Trek.
no Star
That's
Trek.
not
We
so
will
much.
find one teacher in Star Trek.
I'm sure you
That's
will.
the goal.
No one's joining me in the Lord of the Rings. No,
Oh, I don't know.
I've only.
you don't know. You haven't seen them.
No, I haven't
Oh.
read it either.
Well, reading them is quite an adventure, right? They're really thick books.
My
but-
dad said he tried to read, and my dad's a big reader, and he has like books upon books, and he said he tried to read it, and he got like 3 chapters in, and he was just like so bored from it, he just
It's
couldn't.
very detailed, like
Yeah.
very much details. But you should watch the movies.
I've seen the first one, but and I really want to see the second and third one. I just for whatever reason haven't done it yet. But now it's top of the list.
They're
That's
so
the My
long.
Precious guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I
Gollum.
know.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
But it's an adventure. It's a war. It's an adventure movie and fantasy. And
So how was taking like English as a second language? Did it just because you were doing it in 3rd grade? So is it just like it's easy or like because
It's very basic. When you start with young kids like that, it's a lot of nouns, right? Dog, house, girl, and my name is, and how are you? I'm fine. Like the super basic things.
because I know in Spanish, like in the classes here, it's hard to be like translating it to English. I mean, like, oh, this means this. Or I feel like if you start younger, it's easier. With
I
that.
think it's definitely easier. I think even nowadays in Sweden, they start in 1st grade, actually, because it's so important because we're 9 million people. It's
Right.
such a small language that people need to speak other languages in order to communicate with the rest of the world. So I think when you're a little child, you learn so much faster. I think we should start in English, another language in the US faster. It would be much better.
That's weird because they offer it in middle school, and that's really the first time they offer it. But then it's like not required at all. It's just
Yeah,
some
they
people
do.
choose to.
They
but-
didn't even offer it at my middle school
Oh,
when I went to
absolutely.
school in the Bay Area. Yeah, so if I was here and they had it, I probably would have done it.
Yeah, I think it's good because the sooner you do it, right?
Yeah.
But it has to be a language that you can maybe hear around you. Like
Right.
obviously here it would be Spanish if you ask me because there's
Yeah.
so much like
Yeah.
Spanish everywhere. So I think that would help. Yeah.
So outside of school, like, what's your hobbies? What are you into?
I travel. I travel back to Sweden as much as I can because all my family is there, and I like the outdoors. I love mountain biking. I love what's it called? Paddle boarding, hiking. Just going outside makes me happy. So,
Like any favorite local spots or areas you go to?
well, for mountain biking, I really like Granite Bay. The trails there are pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we gotta get you and Mr. Bennett together. He's a big mountain biker.
Who is?
Mr. Bennett.
Yes,
So-
well, him and I we do ride on the same thing. I do know him. I meet him on we are part of something called Cycling Development, which is where all the high schools work together. And my son rode at Vista, so I've been riding with him.
That's fun. That's cool.
Well, tell me about the Sweden thing because I don't know anything about this that much. But I watched like there's a YouTuber who's like from Norway, and he's like anytime he goes against a Swedish person, he's like, oh, we hate.
Oh, the fight between
Yeah.
Swedes and
Yeah.
Norwegians. I
Oh,
thought you were
yeah.
going to say PewDiePie first
No,
because you know
no.
he's Swedish, right?
Yeah, no, not. Yeah, no, it's different.
It's like it's like
It's-
Canada and US.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like we used to own part of Norway. So it's like this rivalry, but it's a friendly
It's a
rivalry.
friendly rivalry.
It is, but it's I would say like US Canada kind of
Okay.
feeling.
Do
Does
you
that
have- do you
explain
have-
it?
Yeah. Do you ever have like a student who's like Norwegian and you're just like, oh.
That we make fun of them
Yeah.
and bully them. No, I haven't had that yet. I have not had that opportunity yet. But yeah,
So you've been teaching for 10 years. How much longer do you think you'll want to teach for? And then kind of after that, any like kind of thoughts of retirement or like, post-teaching?
I have not really thought about retirement yet. I mean, I have to work. I'm going to work for sure, at least 10 more years. That's the plan. I mean, my plans after would be to travel. I do want to travel, go see new places. That's a passion that I had before I had kids. So my husband and I, we were double income, no kids, and we traveled all the time. So I just have more places I want to see. That would be my goal.
So when you have traveled in the past, like what are some of the locations that have stood out as favorite trips or kind of just most profound experiences?
Well, I mean, very different. So living in Sweden, which is really cold, more like Oregon and Washington, we always travel to warm places. So California, obviously, because my husband's from California. He's from Cameron Park. Thailand was amazing because it's this tropical climate paradise, right? The waves, the ocean, the nature, that was amazing. I traveled a lot in Europe too, and I like that. The different cultures, each little country, even though it's spatially so small, has a lot of different things to experience.
What are like bucket list locations like Hawaii?
South America.
South America?
Mm-hmm. I've been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
South America is on a bucket list. I think that would be really cool. I haven't seen
Where in South America? Just anywhere?
Brazil.
Brazil?
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. But I haven't been to any other countries there. I would love to go.
What stands out about Brazil? Just climate?
Nature and climate, and the nature, right? With the rainforests. I think you could see both the cool cities and culture and nature. That's why. Yeah, good question.
So while you continue to teach, do you have any ambition of teaching different subjects or different grades?
I really am happy. So I got to start the program for regular environmental science. This is the second year I'm running that program. So I've gotten to do that, which I'm happy about. And I love doing my APES, AP Environmental Science, which I took over 4 years ago. I just want to refine and make them more interesting, more applicable, and so more kids enjoy taking the classes. So I am very happy with teaching that. Yeah.
So how much of APES, like the curriculum, how much is that what you're assigned to teach versus how much is what you kind of choose to teach and structure? Like how much of it is your structuring?
Well, that's a very good question. I do think that it kind of controls the environment in the way that there's a lot of material I have to cover, right? And which is what environmental science, the regular class, I could probably do a little bit more projects, a little bit more research-based kind of experience, because that one doesn't add up to a long test, which APES does. So I feel like I'm pretty controlled within APES what I have to do.
Yeah. So
from the college board, not in a negative way. It's just
Yeah.
that this is what you have to cover. Yeah.
Because it's their test, their setup, their class.
Yeah, and you want the kids to be prepared. You don't want them to go and take that test and like, she never ever talked about this. So I try to cover as much as I can of what's necessary for that.
And it is an AP class. I know a lot of people want to take it and just say, "Oh, this is an easy AP class," but there is a lot of work, right?
I would say that's a lot of material that's covered. I mean, maybe Kyle can even be an answer.
Yeah, Kyle.
But I do think some kids have the insight and thinking, oh, this is going to be an easy AP, because it's not necessarily that it's so complex or complicated, but we cover so many subjects and it's kind of broad. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is about problem solving. Like, okay, so you know how this and this works. Now, how can you apply that to make solutions to it? And I think putting a lot of pieces together is difficult sometimes.
Well, I feel like I've taken AP. I think it's workload-wise the least workload I've had in an AP class, but you're right, it's a lot. I also feel like it's the most relevant class that I've had at Ponderosa, just because so much of the stuff, like climate, just everything is so relevant to Earth, to our survival. So it's like it's felt very useful, like the information. So
well, I want to make it even more relevant. That's one of those things that I'm trying to improve each year. How can I explain why we should care about this and this and this, right? Because there's so many things that like applies to your daily life, more than we might think about. Like a vehicle we drive, the food that we buy, all those choices that we make are actually environmental science choices, right? What you purchase and how you live as a consumer.
What's your favorite like lab to do? Like if you're like at the beginning of the class, if people don't know what's going on, you're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this lab sometime in the year."
I do like the eco columns that we do, that we set up. So we set up this like mini ecosystem.
Oh,
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we grow little plants and we measure the changes in the plants and the nutrients in the water and in the soil, and we add worms and insects. And my favorite thing is actually just how high school students get so excited about collecting worms. I mean, that actually brings me a lot of joy. They're watching their plants, they're coming in, is my fish alive, not alive? Like that engagement, even if it's just a lab, I like that a lot.
How do you control that? Is there like, I know, I just mean like you need a controlled environment, right? So do you just like have it in a crate somewhere?
We have them in like plastic bottles. It's not a closed ecosystem.
Oh, it's just like open to the classroom?
Yeah, it is
Oh.
open to the classroom. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about a self-sufficient one where you actually close it up and you can have them live for ages. This is more of an experience of seeing how things can change the nutrient levels as the plants use the nutrient in the soil kind of diminish.
Like instead of we had like plastic bottles or kind of these big jugs that kind of stack on top of each other for like different layers. We had like a soil layer. We had like area for the plants to grow. We had like an aquatic zone beneath it. It was like a kind of like a
so it's like a full
like
ecosystem kind of thing.
Right, like an ecosystem tower.
It's not just like plants. You have like a water section or a dirt section. That's cool.
Kind of layers. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and then at the end we add fish and aquatic plants to the aquatic section so the kids can see that fish can survive when there's a plant producing oxygen. So I think students like it. That's one of my but I try to do a lot of labs. I think hands-on activities is the way to think about things more than anything else.
So you created all these paintings around the room. There's a bunch of paintings everywhere on all these walls. You got like a giant like earth thing. That's pretty amazing.
So the mural, this is a mural that's painted. I think it says 93 or 95 on it. So this was sitting in an old biology room for years. So when I started here, I thought that was the really pretty painting, right? Yeah. Someone made this mural, and then a teacher wanted to get rid of it, and I said, please put it in my room because it's gorgeous, and I feel like it represents a lot of the things that I talk about in here. So someone at the school donated that from there. The other ones are students who have produced at the end of the year when the AP test is done, and we have those couple weeks in May where people are out in and out doing testing and kind of hanging out. I do some art projects, something a little bit. It's about an environmental topic. They can choose that and then just do something different with it.
Well, I mean, I think we've covered a lot of things. Unless there's anything else you want to add to this conversation, I mean,
No, I think you guys asked a lot of questions. I hope that I told you a little bit about my classes, a little bit about myself, and I
if
appreciate.
You want to like tell people, hey, come out, do my class.
Any pitches for apes?
Pitches for apes or environmental science. The pitch would be that don't you want to know how your world works around you, how you get your food, how the air you breathe and the water you drink, how that matters to you? Come take apes or environmental science. That would be my pitch.
Well, that being said, it was a pleasure having you on, so thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me on. That was very nice to be part of your program.
Thanks for listening, Bruins. This is Kyle and Braden signing off.
Make sure to be good, do good, and have a great day. Bye.